What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to be doing a what if known as what if Deku was raised by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we have Dunkle Dylan. Oh shit, we have Dunkle Dylan, and yeah, let's just get the show on the road. Anyway, we start off by give me a second here. Okay, so what happened is this. Deku and freaking, I forgot his name. Michelangelo? Or... Okay, Michelangelo. Yeah, okay, Michelangelo. Basically, him and freaking Deku went to go get the pizza. And then Deku did grab a wallet. And Mikey said, "Oh, what you got there?" And freaking Deku was like, "A wallet." And he's like, "Well, wait a minute, we didn't give you a wallet." Deku says, "I know." And this is when Mikey says, "Wait a minute, hold on here. What do you mean?" And Deku just says, "I pickpocketed it, and to be honest, I just went to go get the pizza. I was thinking about just using that to get pizza." And Mikey's like, "But wait, that's kind of bad. Ralph is going to get a little angry. Don't you understand that?" And this is when Deku says, look what they have. And it's a thing for a pizza, for one free coupon pizza. Let's just say it's called Tony's Pizzeria. And basically, Deku is going to show it, and freaking Mikey's all like, "You know, screw it. Taking a wallet isn't harmful." And this is when Deku's like, "You just wanted a pizza coupon. Don't lie to me." So this is Deku and him just wait to get the pizza, and they do. They wait for like what, 10? Let's just say 5 minutes to get for the pizza. And how would I say this? Deku just grabs it, and they basically walk back to their home. And this is when Deku and the others go get pizza. Give me a second, I'm just going to take this off because somebody's yawning. So anyway, Deku and freaking Mikey are just, eating pizza with the others. And this is when everybody, including Toga, which Deku said, "Come on, Toga, we know you want pizza. I know you want pizza. I can see it." And this is when she's like, "All right, pizza." The wings, the chicken itself has gotten through her nose so much that she basically just starts eating the chicken. And this is when Deku takes a bite out of the chicken. And this is when Deku says, "Oh, why are you guys looking at me like this?" And everybody's like, "We forgot that you're part human, so looking at a bull, which is basically a herbivore, eat a pizza? Yeah, that's weird. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. That's kind of weird." And Deku's like, "Yeah, it's kind of weird at first, but at the same time, it's pizza. I mean, who doesn't like pizza?" And everybody's like, "Here, here, aye, aye." There we go. Mikey just says something stupid. Raph hits him in the head, and there we go. So, how would I say this? Also, I think probably they're just going to be talking for a while, and this is when Splinter comes in to go get the pizza and all that, and he just basically tells Deku where did he get the wallet, and this is when Deku just says, and this is when Splinter says, "Don't lie to me, I can see everything." And this is when, basically, Deku is just like, "I took the wallet." And this is when freaking Splinter just goes and bops freaking Raph in the head. And he says, "What have you been teaching him this whole time?" And he's like, "What did I do?" And he says, "You did the exact same thing back then." And this is when Deku said, "Wait, he did that?" And this is when freaking Splinter says, oh yes, he took a lot of things. Heck. Oh, sheesh. I can remember it like the good old days. But anyway, give me a second here, people. Okay. So this is when freaking Deku is being told by Master Splinter about how the day is, or how would I say this? Let's see. Oh yes. Basically, Deku is going to be told about this being his last day of school, and him going to need to, or him basically having to get need his training. Why? Well, because Deku needs to freaking how would I say this? He needs to how would I say this? Oh yes, he needs to just clear his mind of what happened. Oh, let's say 2 months ago, when there was a crazy killer on the loose in the school, because basically he hid around, and Deku knew that he had to protect the students. That's one, even though he doesn't want to, and Toga, which he has to, and wants to, and Deku just killed him. Let's say that it was just brutal. And Deku was just using his fists and his horns. And basically, after all that, Deku is basically remembering what he did. And he said, look, I know, I killed someone. But there was a good reason, too. Splinter says, yes, of course. But you still need to be trained into all this. Killing is something we don't just take lightly. And Deku is, how would I say this? Deku is being talked to by him. And this is when Splinter talks to him about, just tells him that you and Toga, basically anyone here, you are not allowed to leave for the time being. Or at least until you're 15. And this is when Deku says, wait a minute, why? And this is when Splinter says, because we are going to train you. I understand your predicament, and I understand how you are. And this is when Deku just says, alright, Gramps, I understand. And he says, do not look at me with those eyes. Come on, it'll be fun. And Deku says, how many times are we gonna do the Handore? And this is when Splinter says, a lot. And he says, I made a funny. Ha ha ha. This is when basically Deku says, but I'm a warrior. I'm a ninja. I don't gotta do a Handore. I want something to bash people in, not to stab, or Mikey's nunchucks might hits himself in the groin. Wait a minute, do turtles even have that? And this is when freaking Donnie says, yes, Deku, Izuku, we have that too. I understand, you can't see it. That's a good thing. And this is when Deku's like, I'll take your word on it. So, this is when Splinter says, oh yes, but I forgot to tell you. Where did you get the wallet, though? And this is when Deku's like, okay, I pickpocketed it, and this is when, freaking Splinter just tells him about the times that some of the turtles around here took in things, but they were just children. Leo took, let's see, he took some food. No. Freaking Mikey, he took food. Donnie, he took a pair of freaking, spyware glasses or something like that. Something for children. Raph took a freaking baseball bat. Or, he took something. Probably probably a baseball bat. Leo took probably some headphones to listen to music. Something like that. And this is when, basically, Deku's like, oh, so you guys did stuff too. And this is when freaking Splinter talks about the whole story. Until he realizes that it's time for these two to go to school. This is when Splinter says, well, I guess we don't have that much time. Alright, you two. You two must go to school. And Deku's like, alright, might as well end it with a bang. Toga, come on. And he's like, but I still want to eat. I'm going to, this is so hard. And this is when freaking Deku's like, okay. Just grab some freaking... So, Deku, just tells her, like, just get on top of my back. Pretty much, if any of you guys seen Mortal Kombat X, if you know who Farah and Tor are, basically it's kind of like that. And, yeah, pretty much, since she's a bobcat, she has claw... Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, jeez, that is painful. Her having claws, I forgot that. She can grip onto it. Good grip. Very good one. But also the claws. Anyway. So, Deku and them just basically, like, go on turbo mode and run as fast, or basically Deku, since, she's not doing anything besides thinking of herself as the cowboy way. Deku just is going around, it's just like, alright, Toga, you can get off now. And he's like, no. I want to stay a little bit longer. Toga! Down, girl. She basically just passes out, and Deku just boops her in the nose a couple of times. That's pretty much it, And then he just, spritz water on her, or shoots water at her. So, yeah, pretty much, Deku is, Oh, let's see. Okay. So basically, they go to school, and Deku is, well, basically all he's just doing right now is just sitting down in class while Toga is just right there drinking milk. And yes, she drinks milk. And that's the thing, though. That's basically Toga's thing. She drinks milk, she's eating chicken. Basically what a cat does. And it's pretty peaceful right now. Nothing's happening. Deku's just thinking for a while. And he's just thinking like a normal teenager would. But, give me a second here. Okay, so, basically, yeah, all that happens, and now Deku is just, well, he's telling freaking, the teacher, nothing, he's telling them nothing at first. And this is when the teacher's like, okay. So, Izuku, are you paying attention? And Deku says, what for? And this is when the teacher's like, because you're in school. Just because it's the last day. And Deku says, because it's the last day, I really don't have to care about what happens, whether you like it or not. First of all, you don't really care about us. All you do is just tell us that you care, because that's easy. You're a teacher. You can't just tell me, how do I say it, I'm a piece of crap, or I look disgusting. No, that would be too easy. How would I say this? I don't care. To be honest, all the students right here, they're nothing more than just weaklings that bully the weak. You're basically a festering swarm of insects crawling beneath my feet. I'm not saying this to brag. I don't really care. But because you think that cool, flashy quirks are a thing, that mutations and all that is just nothing. Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to be each and one of your worst nightmares. Till the day I die. And you will see me with glory and see yourselves with nothing. Then this is when the teacher's like, "Oh, okay, that's a bold argument." And Deku says, "This wasn't meant to be a bold argument. This is a statement, and it's the truth itself. I'm pretty much not going to care anymore what's happened, so don't think that I'm going to say anything productive." And this is when the teacher's like, "Oh, okay. While we're on that subject, I noticed that you didn't actually write anything for what do you want to be when you grow up." And this is when Deku says, "Read the back." And it's the back says, "None of your business." And this is when he's like, "Oh. But, yeah, sheesh. It's my duty to know this kind of stuff." "Your duty? What kind of crap is that? And I'm a bull, so I know what kind of crap you're spewing out of your mouth right now, mister." Oh yes, the crap puns are coming again. They're always going to sneak in. Anyway, Deku just looks at him and says, "I don't pretty much care." And he's like, "Oh, okay, and he's all like, "Toga, what about you? You didn't put anything." "Oh, you forgot, look at the back." And he's like, "Oh, okay." It says, "Nanya." "What is Nanya?" And this is when she says, "None of your business." And the teacher's like, okay, I give up. You know what, everybody, just, for those who want to listen, raise your hands, and for those who don't, they can, you guys can just leave school early. There's pretty much nothing I can do. And this is when, basically, Deku, Toga says, "Deku, now!" And Deku just, tells her, "Hop on." And they basically just run over there to the other side where the door is at. And the guy was actually going to trick them by, how would I say it, being in the way, and says, just because I say that, it doesn't mean that I dismissed you. I'm just telling you guys what you could do." And Deku says, pretty much, well, he does pass him, and Deku says, "Well, he couldn't do nothing now, so pretty much, yeah, you kind of, you suck." So this is when Deku, oh no, the teacher just gets a little irritated because it's like, this kid's an annoyance. And this is when Deku just hears this, because he knows what the guy can say under his lips. Toga heard what was Toga heard everything, because she's a cat. So Deku just says, "Look, just because you said it under your lips doesn't mean I couldn't hear you. You are just a weakling who never succeeded in life. Now you have to teach snot-nosed little brats, because, well, basically, they can't do a thing. And because they can't do a thing, they have to listen to somebody whose hopes and dreams were lost a long time ago. Don't screw with us, mister." And Toga says, "Yeah." And this is when Deku says, "You're not helping, Toga." And he's like, "Okay, I'm just going to look somewhere else, you know." And basically Deku's like, "Okay, that's better." And Deku says, "Okay, that's better." So he just runs, and basically there was a window that's open, and they basically jumped out. And Deku remembers this kind of, remembers when he jumped out. He remembers it a little too well. He remembers something that, basically, he didn't think he was going to, he basically, realized what he did, what he remembered. And what he remembered was this. The fact of the matter being, Deku saw the past And this wasn't even, this was like I said, this was a couple of months ago. So, but this is still brand new to him. This is so fresh in his memories. And Deku remembers the day that, well, basically what he did. And what he did, well, I'm glad you hypothetically asked. He just looked around and remembered when he jumped out of the window when he had to fight. And what did he have to fight? It's going to be the villain. He remembers the day he killed the villain. And that was a day where he remembered that he almost thought of himself as a monster. And basically what happened was this. There is a man named called basically a guy who had the title the crazy murdering maniac. Don't remember what he could be called, but basically he was known as the crazy berserker. And he basically had a kill count. But here's the thing. The kill count that he had was basically one where all of his time and his surrounding, how would I say this? Okay, let's just say this. The freaking guy who marked himself as a wanted man basically went into the school. And keep this in mind. The guy is crazy because he kills people and he scars himself or stabs himself or does something, cuts himself, or something to remind him of the day where basically he remembers what happened or what he did and or how many people he killed. That kind of crazy murderer. And basically Deku just remembered the time he saw his face. And Deku was scared. Deku was scared of this because he's never done this before. This is the first time he's ever seen his face, and nobody's remembered him besides let's say the turtles, because they've seen people before, and they know people who've been crazy and all that stuff. Let's say it was just your run-of-the-mill type guy, but then after that he trained and got himself strong. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Deku saw this guy in school, and basically he was trying to attack students. Students were running away besides him, because Toga was running, and the guy was about to touch her. And this is when Deku just saw red, literally, because he tried to grab the Toga, but he accidentally scratched her to the point where a drop of blood fell. And this is when Deku literally just started charging in and ramming his horns. Basically, they're not sharp horns just yet. Let's say this. They're starting to form. They're dull right now, but charging into him still, basically it cracked a couple of ribs, and the guy was laughing maniacally. And he was like, "Hey, look at that. A kid who made me..." Hold on here. Look at my ribs. And he grabbed his ribs and just pulled them out. And he was like, "They'll grow soon. I have a regeneration ability. But I choose what to regenerate. These scars right here, they're forever, kid. And I guess I'll have you marked on my head, since you did this to me." And Deku was like, looking at him, pretty much not saying a thing. And Toga was talking to Izuku, but all Deku did was just say the words, "Toga, do not open your eyes." And she says, "But wait a minute, this is, what are you about to do?" And Deku says, "I'm going to do what I do best, and that is protecting you." I'm sorry for failing you on this. I should have been there when I had the chance. Otherwise, your little cute face wouldn't gotten scratched. So do not worry about this. Big Brother's here. This is when Toga's starting to cry because she was terrified. But she doesn't know what to be terrified of. Either Deku or the killer. Deku has never, like, shown this, like, rare, like, this ability before. Deku's, like, aura, it's not even an aura, it's basically his bloodlust was showing. And Deku just told her to close her eyes. Toga decided to do that because she was scared of what was going to happen. And the guy started charging in. Now, these two start running around the school building and start punching each other. Deku got a few in, but the guy is clearly much more stronger because this is Deku's, like, actual, like, real battle with an actual strong person. And basically Deku saw, like, what the Turtles and Splinter taught him, because they taught him, like, a little bit of things. They weren't just, like, nothing. But the thing is, Deku, how would I say this? Deku, okay, let's say this. Deku didn't know anything about, like, actual combat, but he learned a little bit. And here's what's going to happen. Deku basically kicked him with the jaw, but backwards. So what I mean is this. Deku just literally did a roadhouse with a hoof, which basically cracked the guy's jaw, and the guy started to put it back together and re-healed the bone within that. And the guy was like, oh man, this hurts, but it feels so good. And this guy's clearly a masochist. Yeah, I'm not going to say, I'm going to leave it off at that part. But pretty much these two start to fight each other again. And these two start punching and punching and punching and punching. Deku was giving it his all. But even Deku, even though he's a bull or a minotaur, even he has a weakness because he needs to train himself. He's never done that. He's only just punched and kicked a little bit and rammed. He doesn't know anything about technique, so the guy is beating him. And this is when Deku just starts to keep going and going and going. They basically go back all the way to the same spot as they were before because they were just running around and Deku was buying his time to understand what to do. But Deku got kicked so hard in the face that he landed near Toga, and this is when Deku just was on the floor. So, Deku tries to get up, but he feels weak. And Deku literally was just coughing up blood. His hand felt cracked, his body felt weak. He's running out on stamina, but Deku knows he has to get up. And this is when Deku saw Toga standing in front, putting her arms out. This is when Deku just says, Toga, what are you doing? Can you move out of the way? I told you, Big Brother's got this. So come on, move out of the way, please. And this is when she says, no, you're weak right now. We are the same age, so I gotta protect you as well. We're going to have each other's backs, remember? That's what Dad told us. We have to do this together. And this is when Deku says, but right now, you're not capable of fighting. And this is when, basically, the guy was like, oh, look at that. Two siblings, which I don't know how it's physically possible. But hey, everybody's weird in their own way. And basically, just charging in, about to stab freaking Toga with her knife. Because he didn't really need a knife with Deku, but pretty much stabbing her would just finish or, like, end quickly. And this is when Deku just snapped out of it. And basically Toga saw Deku get stabbed in front of her, in front of Deku. And this is when Deku's eyes start turning red again. But here's the thing. Deku's mutagen pathways, or how would I say this? The thing that makes him accelerate with strength. Well, basically, Deku is just, his horns are growing. And I mean to the point where they're actually much more sharper. And Deku's muscles are becoming bigger. He doesn't know what's happening, but he knows what he has to do. And Deku is just grabbing him and just crushing his arms. The guy's yelling out in pain, saying, "Oh, fudge, this hurts." But then laughing maniacally again, and this is when Deku just charges in, doing a flip and kicking him right in the face with 2 hooves. The guy's falling, but this is when Deku just does a flip and starts running to him again. And then, after that, charging into a wall, stabbing him inside, and just like breaking the wall in what's called indefinitely. And then the guy is trying to get out of the way, or trying to get out of it. But this is when the guy grabs his knife and was about to stab Deku. But this is when Toga comes in and scratches his eyes. Because she's scared, because, first of all, her brother, or Deku, is fighting for her, and she wants to protect him as well. So this is when Deku just has him on it. He still has the guy within his horns. So basically, he keeps just charging into walls and keeps doing it. And the guy is laughing still and thinking to himself that this is not going to hurt him anymore. Was about to stab, but then he realizes one thing. His arms are basically broken because the Deku squeezed them when the guy was about to stab Toga. So basically, he realizes he messed up, was charging upwards and basically charging down the stairs, or up the stairs, and after that, they find themselves basically on top of the roof. And Deku jumps up and basically does a headbutt to the freaking floor with the guy inside his horns, and basically he breaks the freaking floor. But then he knows that it has to go again, and he does it one more time. And then the third time's the charm. He charges in, jumping up, pushing himself even harder, breaking one floor. But having the weight of these 2 guys, and not only that, Deku's like strength right now becoming boosted, he breaks the other floor, and then the other floor. Basically, he's charged down 4 floors, and after that hits the ground. The guy's passed out, but covered in blood, and this is when Deku just grabs him by the neck and snaps it. And this is when, basically, all he just knows is that pretty much nothing. He doesn't see anything right now. He's right now zoned out for what he just did. And this is when he just went haywire and just starts tearing this guy up to shreds. Starting to, how would I say this, go beyond his limits and just destroying everything. And then this is when Deku, Deku just has, basically his, how would I say this, him becoming like Super Saiyan, I guess, in that kind of way. Yeah, basically it doesn't happen anymore. Deku is just reverted back to his normal form. So, for some reason, he had the rage of a bull, I guess. I don't know if this is going to be a power, but this just happened. And Deku is just kind of passing out. And then this is when basically the police come in, because in every action movie, the police always comes in until the end. And Deku just is on the floor right now, just catching his breath. And Toga has to defend him because the cops think that he's actually the villain. And this is when the teachers had to vouch for Deku, saying, no. That's our student. The guy that he just ripped up? Okay, that doesn't sound as good as I thought after realizing all this, but you guys get the picture, hopefully. Deku just doesn't care and is just tired. And basically they try to ask him for questioning, but at the same time, they really can't. There's nothing that they can do. Like, they can't get mad at this kid because pretty much the heroes as well can't get mad at him because he was just trying to protect his sister. Even though he doesn't like the school, it doesn't mean he just wants a massacre. But the only thing that just kept him going is mostly Toga. Toga was the one who cared about him. And this is when Deku just, goes home, hands covered in blood. And then Deku just sees Master Splinter and the rest of the turtles. And Toga is right there kind of like crying still because Deku just like carried her. And pretty much Deku just passes out. And that's what happens. Flashback or the memory is over. So, give me a second here, people. Okay, so what happens is this. Splinter tells freaking Deku and Toga that these two are going to be learning a lot of things. Well, they're going to be trained. Why are they going to be trained? Well, because Deku needs to learn how to do his thing, or how to control his emotions, how to control his past. He doesn't want to be controlled by it because, first of all, Splinter thinks that, well, Splinter knows that this has to be something that he has to know by himself. And Deku is going to be, he's going to learn how to train and all that stuff. Now, we get to the whole point of the story where basically a person watches the, we got to another to a part of the story in the past where basically All For One saw what was happening, and all he just says is, our plan is coming into fruition. Isn't that right, Mother? And yes, Mother. So, Deku will basically in the present is learning how to do basically learning how to use a weapon known as the Kanabo. And freaking Toga is learning how to use the Tonfa. Now, give me a second here, people. Now, Deku is telling Splinter why are they actually training at this moment of time. And this is when Splinter says, well, here's the thing. You need to control your past. I see that you're always phasing from the present to the past. And I think this would help you out a lot. If you just, how would I say this? If you just let go. But training will help you during time after time after time. And besides, you've been looking at the Kanabo for so many years, always wanting to touch it, but we told you no. So I think it's time for you to now learn it. And this is when Deku's like, wait, for real? And Splinter says, for real. But do not worry. Like I said, we will teach you from square one all the way to square 100. Wait, what? It's alright, it's just square 50. What? I'm just kidding. I made a funny. And this is when Deku's like, one day, Toga's gonna bite your tail, and I'm going to be laughing. And this is when Splinter says, you keep my tail out of this. And Deku's all like, or what? Honduras. Okay, so you got the Honduras, I got Toga. Which one's worse? And this is when he's like, And Deku's like, while you reminisce on that, I'm just going to get the Kanabo. And he holds it for the first time. And this is when Deku literally just is smiling because this is one of his most favorite weapons that he's going to be using. And Toga's going to use the Tonfa, like I said. Now, give me a second here. Now, this is when Deku grabs the like I said, grabs the Kanabo, and then he starts playing around with it, thinking to himself like, "Hoya," and "whoosh," and "foosh," "foosh ra." Dodge, da, da, dodge, da, da, dodge. Okay, I'm kidding. Oh, that was so freaking funny. But anyway, here's the thing. Deku was grabbing around, playing with it, until he used a little bit too much strength, not knowing how heavy it truly is when swung around. Deku threw it so far that it almost hit Splinter while he was thinking about thinking about stuff. It almost hits his tail, and then he's just thinking, "I'm just going to lie down. I'm just going to lie down, go to sleep. Getting a little too old for this." Donnie, Raph, train them. And Izuku, Honduras for a whole 2 hours. And Deku's like, well, okay, I deserve that. And Toga's like, "Oh, this is funny. Come on now, Izuku. Toga, 1 hour." "What? What did I do?" And he's like, "You need to train as well." "I see that smile. I see where you are. I know where your tail is. I know where you live." And Deku's like, we live here with him. Of course we both know where he lives. Shut up, I'm trying to get mad right now. Anyway, Deku is just doing all this, and give me a second here, people. Okay, so, over the years, and we're going to time skip it to, what age are they going to be? Let's see. Okay, I got it. 15 years. Oh, no, not 15 years. Until they're 15. Oh, jeez, that would be a little... Okay, anyway. Deku and Toga learn until they're 15 about how to use the weapons. And basically, Deku has mastered it to the whole point where he doesn't actually do anything stupid. Toga, on the other hand, actually, with the help of Donnie, she actually somewhat has a attachable string or detachable string, which sometimes she plays with at times, but this is not meant for that. It's meant for becoming nunchucks or nunchaku. Basically, they start to use it, and Deku has tear gas. I'm not going to tell you what the ingredients are, but Toga helps out with it. That's all you need to know. This is a crappy excuse for a freaking what if. That was a pun indeed. That is my gift to you. Anyway, they do all this. Deku now has to go to high school, or probably somewhere else right now. That's for us to decide on the next part, and for you guys to listen to. Now, anyway, I'm going to leave it off here. I know this was a little fast, and I know it had crappy jokes, but, you know, heck, at least it was something. So, anyway, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This is Fallout with a Fear here with the help of Dunkle Dylan. Bye.